Let's go. So it should be okay. Should be live on YouTube now. The more we know. Your videos live. Yes. We made it. Okay, we did make it onto YouTube. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, I don't know. Outside of what I already said with doing reels and doing these still weekly podcasts, I don't really have too much to say. Covered it. Covered it. We got. We're always looking for more things to do, but uh, we need things that can be done easily. It's almost finals season for people in college, so that's both Sheldon and I think he's in here now. Add him to the stage. Yep. All right. Oh, there he is.
Yo,
What's good?
what's good? What's good?
Okay. We couldn't record last week. I was kind of explaining that before because, you know, Thanksgiving, people have to travel and all that. How was the Thanksgiving meal? I need to know.
Ooh, it was really good, Pat. Hella mac and cheese, hella turkey, some green bean casserole, and some
Mm.
Hawaiian rolls. So it was bussin'. It was probably like one of the best meals I've had, Thanksgiving meals I've had. So it was low key clutch. What about you?
And it was pretty good. I'd started eating. No, I didn't even eat until Thanksgiving dinner at 4:30. So
Yeah,
I
that's the
was
move.
ready. I was ready. We got to watch the Packers and the Lions. For that 1
All
p.m. slate.
upsets,
All upsets. Ooh, I'm not in tune with the betting, so yeah, that would make sense.
like
Honestly,
all big upsets. I think. Well, except for the Lions one. The Lions were only 3-point favorites, but everyone else is pretty big.
wow. Yeah. So I mean, Bengals kept their playoff hopes alive, which is pretty
Joe
sick.
Burrow.
Joe Burr's saving me in fantasy, maybe question mark. I don't know. And then yeah, that was pretty sick. We had South Carolina football this weekend. Of course, it was terrible. Nick Harbor needs to go back to track and field, I think. Um,
Ooh. Well,
hot
you better
take.
be careful. You go to your school, he's gonna find you, bro.
That is true. And there's if Nick Harbor wanted to beat me up, there's nothing I could really do about it. He usually when I say these things, I'm like, well, I could outrun a good bit of these guys. Not Nick Harbor. He got no shot. But yeah, that was really rough from him. The interception that he chest pass to the defense and a fumble. It was terrible. That was
Rough
really.
game. Did you
He's
go to
gonna
the
go to
game?
the NFL. He is gonna go to the
Did you
NFL.
go to the game?
No, no, no. What? If I don't
That's
get those student tickets, man, I'm not going. I'm not spending money on that.
yeah. The reselling is crazy.
Yeah. The resale inflation goes crazy. Do you know what else has in crazy inflation?
What?
When your team is playing against LeBron James and he
Oh,
has recently returned and you're 23, he's 42 years old. In the end of this month he'll turn 42 years old. He's played really well to start, and I think that's the first topic we're going to go over because Lakers, LeBron clicks, that's what we like. um yeah, where do we want to start with big LeBron?
yeah. LeBron coming back. Struggled a little bit in the first game, but then eventually got it going. He's averaging 16, 8, and 5, shooting pretty good from the field. Uh, I think that Luka and AR have been incredible. And then they just got LeBron back. And I think that like Austin Reeves was playing like a second option before LeBron came back. DeAndre Ayton's actually looking like a comparable center. He's scoring points, averaging 16 and 8. I think that's been a huge part of the success for the Lakers. Not and then obviously having Luka Doncic averaging 35, 9 and 8, and then AR averaging 28, 6 and 5 definitely helps. Um, they're also doing they're struggling a little bit defensively, Pat, but offensively they're fifth in the league. So um, I think that definitely has a lot to do with it and helps when you have all those scores.
DeAndre Ayton still chilling at his 2 free throw attempts per game, which is, it's slightly better than the past couple years. His offensive play has been a lot better. Did you see his awesome comments where he was like, "I'm going to be the two-way, rim
The Lakers have
finisher
been missing.
that the Lakers have not ever had." Just ridiculous, but I'm glad his mind is in the right space. Um, and he's been pretty impactful compared to what expectations were for him. um, I've really liked what I've seen from LeBron so far. It looks like he's meshing in well next to the guys who have been playing super well to start the season. It doesn't
Cool.
ever look like they're forcing him into the offense. Even I think his minutes per game is slightly down compared to the last couple of seasons, and I think that it's been a pretty seamless fit. I expected it to be a little bit not rocky, but like it would take a second for everything to go, or Reeves would take a huge hit in his shot attempts, but that hasn't necessarily happened, and I think it's really good. And I think this is a testament to the GOAT head coach JJ Redick, because this is the second year in a row where early in the season the Lakers are towards the top of the standings, and you're just looking at them, and you mentioned they're one of the better offenses. I think they're down to fourth now, and then defensively they're not good. And then you look at SRS, you look at expected record; those are not particularly great, even though they're middle of the pack in the NBA. And just I think JJ Redick's the go coach just for some reason somehow. We'll get more sample size to see. We'll see him in a playoff setting. He hasn't really had a good playoff series as a coach, but they've been so awesome. I think. I mean, I think we talked about the Lakers a little bit in the last time because they were again showing very strong signs. But how good do we think this Lakers team is in a larger scale? Like come playoff time, how do we feel about them specifically? Is their defense good enough in your opinion? You're muted. You're muted.
It's going to come down to, Pat, whether the defense is good enough or not. Um, we saw them struggle against the Timberwolves with defensive rebounding, defensive play. A lot of it had to do. Oh, yeah, yeah. They played the Warriors. They played the Lakers last year. Um, but like you said, JJ Redick is such a good coach. I think that their defense can play well enough to win them games. I don't think it's going to be a defense wins games type of team, which is typically what you want in the playoffs. But I mean, as long as Luka and LeBron are out there, I think you always have a chance, especially with how good their offenses looked recently, and even also getting like some of their defensive players are hurt for them. The main one being Adu Thero, who we both liked a lot as a defensive prospect for the Lakers, and he's only played 4 games. I think he's hurt, but
I think a good bit
he
of that's
also,
G League too.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think G League, but uh, yeah,
Yeah, how have we liked the Bronny James minutes? Because they haven't been complete garbage time minutes anymore. Like he started a couple of games, and yeah, what have we thought about your guy Bronny,
he
your
just
favorite player in
looks
the league?
he just looks very hesitant to shoot the ball. There's a lot of like plays where he's getting the ball wide open on the corner in the corner on the top of the wing, and he's like he'll hesitate, like do a hezzy or a pump fake, and then he'll kind of start to like drive in and look for a pass. Um, I think that's the real reason that his minutes have been like not very impactful. But like if he can just get aggressive, shoot the ball, like we've seen him be able to do in like the G League and the Summer League a little bit, I think it will improve. But right now, it's been a struggle, and I think it's just mainly due to him not being very aggressive or wanting to shoot the ball that much from behind the arc.
Yeah, it's probably enough that we need to talk about Bronny for the rest of the year. He just doesn't look very good, like you said. His shot making is hesitant because he hasn't made shots. It's very, very, even if he does look decent defensively for a small guard, like it's just gonna take a minute for sure for him to really be anything in the NBA. Um, yeah, so the other team I put on the thumbnail, as you can see here, is the Detroit Pistons. Because last time we talked about them, we did briefly go over them, but I don't think we gave them as much of a deep dive as we necessarily could. 20 games in now, they're 16-4. They're doing quite great. And I'm interested in what we have to say about Detroit because last time we looked at them, I wouldn't say we brushed over them, but I was like, okay, the half court offense is still not great. And just offense in general last time wasn't that great. Now they're 10th in offensive rating, 5th in defensive rating. Cade Cunningham's efficiency has rebounded a good bit, even though it's still like not exactly where we need it to be, but it's a lot better. Um, they have recently gotten Jaden Ivey back. He's been playing sparingly. He's on a minutes restriction, and I think that's going to help them offensively going forward. Um, and I think the really fun thing about them is they've mismatched a ton of their starting lineups. Tobias Harris has been out the last 10 games. They've had Ron Holland start 5 games. They've had Dennis Jenkins, who's on a heater, shooting 45% from three. He started a bunch of games. And I don't think we had really spoken about him until last recap. Um, yeah, Detroit Pistons, how real do we think this is?
I think it's real. I think we're looking at a team that was even better than last year, Pat. And I think a lot of it not only has to do with the huge jump that Cunningham has had. You mentioned it. He's rebounding. His efficiency numbers are rebounding. He's so clutch with his mid-range game and little like step back jumpers in the mid-range inside the arc with like 5 seconds to go. He's hit a lot of clutch shots. This team, they lost a tough one against the Magic. Um, but I mean, I think this team is legit. I think Jalen Duren has been playing like out of his mind. He's like giving you such a good lob threat for Cade, and then also he's able to anchor it down defensively, really well, Pat. Um, let me see. Yeah, 1.1 blocks a game for Duran. He's averaging 19 and 11. Duncan Robinson's shooting well. Asar Thompson has been contributing to the scoring while also adding the great defense that he has. Pat, this team is or it actually is. It hits your criteria for that 10-10 offensive and defensive rating, and it's been the defense for the Pistons. We kind of touched on it a little bit before in the last episode, but tied for fourth in defensive rating. It's been huge for them. Players are active, getting steals. It's been really fun to watch this young Pistons team start to butt into maybe a potential threat for the East.
Yeah, we'll get right back to the Pistons in a second. But on that 10-10 note, I did look, before the episode because I needed to know. There are, I believe, only two other teams, or there are three other teams actually that fit the 10-10 threshold. Do you want to guess on which other three teams? The Pistons are the fourth. What are those other three teams are? Correction. I know you're muted. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I
But
said
there
Thunder.
are there are four other teams. One of the teams is way further down the standing, so I hadn't checked them yet.
Heat?
Thunder are one of them.
Are the Heat one?
The Heat are another one.
Ooh. Um, Rockets maybe.
The Rockets are the third one.
Knicks.
Defense is just under.
Yeah. Fuck. Timberwolves.
Pretty sure the offense missed for them.
All right, my last guess, Pat. The Nuggets. I'm gonna stick in the West.
Oh, the Timberwolves actually also just squeaked in at 8 and 9.
I just beat that. Yeah. So my last team will be the Nuggets.
The Nuggets, the defense was 18th.
Oh,
So there were actually 6 teams, which is kind of crazy because there's a lot of plotting towards the top right now in the NBA. And if you just look at the raw standings, that will definitely tell you the case. But the Orlando Magic were also a 10-10
really?
team. Yes.
Top 10 in both? Wow.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that we might get another team joining in that threshold soon, and that's Atlanta because they are currently like just outside of the top 10 in both. If I go and look, and it's been trending. I think the offense has been kind of stagnating, but the defense has been trending upward. Obviously, a lot of that's Trae Young being out. I guess they're only 15th in offense now. They've probably deteriorated a little bit, but their defense is about to hit top 10. So if they can, even out the 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 changes of levers when Trae Young comes back, then they could also be a 10-10 team. Um, but yeah, Jalen Duren, he's been pretty good. He's been a huge plus on offense for them this season. You mentioned it as a lob threat. I think another key is in transition. They like to have him just bust his ass down the floor and seal somebody under the rim, and they like to hit him early then. And then I think his ball handling's taken just a tremendous leap this season. I think he's actually like a really good ball handler last season. Um, my first thought of looking into a little bit of the lineup data is what does it look like when Cade's not on the floor in a 90-minute stretch? So not a huge stretch. It's still he's actually somehow the offense is better when Duren's out there, even without Cunningham on the
Wow.
floor. Now it's a 90-minute stretch, and the difference is, it's about the same, right? Like the offense is a 126 versus a 123 when they share the floor. So it's still really good, but Duran's been awesome. He was my one-time All-Star prediction. It's looking like he is a deserving All-Star and not a fraudulent All-Star. Um, but yeah, do you have anywhere else that you want to take this Pistons conversation? Um, I think that should be all that I have on Detroit. They've been really good. Um, and a lot of it is like what we talked about last year. I actually didn't know this page on Basketball Reference existed. Oh my God, this is sick. You can scroll through all of the players on offs. Oh, that's gonna be great. I wish I knew about that. Um, yeah, we'll move forward here, and this is kind of open forum here. We have the standings pulled up. Obviously, we talked about Detroit. The rest of the East, we have the Knicks, the Raptors, the Heat. Um, yeah. So, what do we have to say here? Do we have any single team that we want to talk about
I mean, we
deeper?
got to talk about number 3, Pat. I definitely did not see this coming, but the Raptors are playing really good basketball right now. They're 8-2. Brandon Ingram has been insane. 21 points per game, 5 rebounds, 47 from the field. I'm sure you saw his game-winning jumper the other night. Just classic BI stuff. Scotty Barnes has been playing really good, and he's been shooting the ball well, Pat. He's shooting 41% from three, so that's definitely a big upgrade. And also, RJ Barrett's shooting average from three, and quickly he's also shooting well from three. I think this team is benefiting off their guys that were kind of streaky shooters starting to show up and knock down shots. Obviously, Jakob Poeltl has been really good. Colin Murray Boyles has been playing good basketball defensively as well, scoring when need be. Jamal Sheed is like sneakily one of the best like playmaking backup point guards in the game, averaging 5 assists this year. They're playing really good defense. Pat, sixth in the NBA. They're doing good offensively too. Do you think this is a fluke run from the Raptors, or is there some legitimacy to the big three of Scotty Barnes, R.J. Barrett, and Brandon Ingram?
I think there are some parts of this that is real and some parts of it that is not. Um, their offense is just outside of being blending them as a 10-10 team. Their defense is towards the top of the league. We saw last year they were one of the best defenses to end the season last year when they went on a run that almost birthed them into the play-in. They didn't quite end up making it, but yeah, they've been pretty solid on both sides of the floor. I think with them a huge key for them this year has been the increase in pace relative to last season. I guess not relative to last season, but overall the pace of the league has gone up this year. So even when they move down in pace, or when they slightly move up in pace, the league has been playing at a faster pace. Regardless, um, they've just had Ingram to turn to as a late clock shot maker. I think Scotty Barnes has been specifically very good in transition as a playmaker and scorer, and that's why it's like the main thing I think about when I think about the Raptors so far. Um, I do have some concerns as they start to play better teams. I'm gonna want to see them against some more good teams. I do want to watch them a little bit more going forward because this 8-2 run kind of came out of nowhere. It felt like I think it was actually a 10 game win streak, and now they've lost two in a row. That's actually exactly what it is. Looking at it more, I do have concerns against better teams as you look across the rotation, and they have Barnes, Ingram, Barrett, Jameson Battle, Oshai Abaji, Grady Dick, Colin Murray Boyles, and there are times when 5 of those 7 guys share the floor together, and when that happens, I'm interested in how teams defend them because, I had noticed this when I can't remember who they were playing earlier in the
Was it
week because they were on their win streak, and I was like, "Okay, I need to see them play, like, what is this?" Here, let me go to, Emmanuel Quickley's box score because or his game logs, because 'cause I'm sure that'll give me, um I think it might have been against Cleveland, and of course they did, like, beat Cleveland pretty convincingly, so maybe this is not much to make of it, but I was thinking, okay, teams are just going to switch everything when they have all of these wing-sized players on the floor who are between 6'5" and 6'8", because there's going to be no advantages created from a pick and roll, and you're just going to neutralize the screen. And then I go and see that in a game yesterday against the Knicks because I was thinking about it going into the game already, and when they ran those minutes and in the first quarter, they had a good stretch where it was all of those wing size players on the floor together, and the Knicks were freely switching, even though like it's Brunson and Towns switching, they were fine doing it because regardless, there's a size or quickness advantage or disadvantage on the floor, and it really slowed down the Raptors' offense. Then you get Sandro Mamuskevs, just Mamu. His name's Mamu. You get Mamu out there, and the Knicks were way more reluctant to switch. Mamu ends up playing as the starter in the second half, and I think that's something to look out for them. They haven't had Jakob Poeltl recently. I can't remember how long. I don't remember him playing against Cleveland when I watched them against Cleveland, so I don't think he's. Yeah, his okay. He did play against Cleveland. He just now went down, so he missed other games earlier in the year. Um, Way to go, Jakob Poeltl. But yeah, I think when I think they're in need of either Quickly or Mamu out there, or to bring in somebody from the outside to be a scorer who is not, a wing-sized player. I think it is really key for them. So um, that's maybe a long-winded answer, way longer than I needed it to be. What do you have to say on that?
Yeah, I think I definitely agree. They're gonna have to figure out how to operate and score without like their main guys on the floor and some of those guys who aren't as offensively inclined, which they have a lot of those on their bench.
Yeah, and I just really think even when all of their guys share the floor, because like it's been good when they've shared the floor, quite frankly, this season. Um, but I think as they face better teams, they might run into some issues with that. I think if you specifically you look at RJ Barrett, he's like, a huge negative defensively, and he's a wing. That's pretty rough. We'll see how that transitions into the playoffs. I think they've seen great shooting steps from Scotty Barnes this season. I think he's honestly looked as good as he's ever looked as an NBA player. And yeah, I think there are some very real things about them. And I think there's some things that give me pause if they're going into a playoff series right now. But That's what we have the regular season for, to get answers to these questions, for the teams to get answers to these questions, for them to make eventual trade deadline moves that they need to make, of course. So, anything else on Raptors, or do you have another team you want to shift it on over to?
Yeah, let's talk about the Cavs, Pat. You see they're very middle of the pack at 7, 12 and 9. I think we both kind of picked them a little like pretty high in our predictions. Um, it's been a struggle. As you see, they're 5 and 5 in their last 10. They lost 3 straight. There's a lot of problems going on in Cleveland. Again, it's the injury bug, Pat. It feels like I don't think it's as serious as it was last year, but there have definitely been some games where you don't have Garland, you don't have Merrill, you don't have Allen. It really hurts you. Um, and like outside of Donovan Mitchell, they're kind of struggling to score. Evan Mobley still scores well. Darius Garland has been doing his thing whenever he gets to play, but like it's just not really like the Cavs teams that we've seen in the past. And I honestly think like Pat, say you're the Magic and you secure the 3 seed and the Cavs kind of stick around here. Like I would not want to be playing a healthy Cleveland team in the first round, like completely healthy. And I think that this could maybe be like 2020 Heat when they kind of finish near the bottom of the conference, but they're good enough to win games in the playoffs. What do you think about that, Pat? And do you have anything to say about like maybe the recent struggles? I know there's been some injuries and then just kind of good play by the other teams with like Mitchell losing some games where he's dropping 40. So
I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head. Primarily with Cleveland, they've been very hurt so far to start the year. Like, I think Garland has played 7 games so far this season. He's not shot well in the games that he has played. He struggled defensively. He's struggled with turnovers. It's been rough for him. DeAndre Hunter's also just not been great this season. Obviously, he's averaging 17 a game, and that sounds great for a wing, but you need your wings shooting better than 33% from the field if they wanted a wing to shoot 33% from the from the 3-point line. Geez, I messed it up both times. If they wanted their small forward to shoot 33% from three, they would have just kept Isaac Okoro. Um, they desperately need to do that. I think with them, the key is they've struggled defensively, and that's the only thing that would cause me some questions with them, because like that was supposed to be, the stabilizing force for them was Donovan Mitchell's offense and their lockdown defense. And, they're currently sitting, I think their defense was at 10th and their offense was at 13th in the league. So, like, the defense is obviously still good, but in the past couple years, it's been one of the best in the league, and they don't have that league best defense anymore. And that's with Garland missing time, who is probably somebody who's been burning away some defensive value over the past couple seasons. Mobley has been good, but not as good as he was in the past couple seasons. I think if he like just takes a slight bounce back to what he did off, and I meant primarily on the defensive end, he still looks pretty good out there. But if he just bounces back ever so slightly, that would really help. And like this is by no means an Evan Mobley problem. It's the team all around is
just
just not
something that
great.
would help very much if he was able to get
Yes,
that stat level.
it would mask the fact that the rest of the team is not built well defensively like it has been in the past. And Jalen Tyson, I have to shout out Jalen Tyson and Sam Merrill, because these guys have been awesome. And I think if anything, seeing the way that these guys has played has really helped, like ease some of the concerns that I would have had about Cleveland going into the season. I really like what I've seen out of those guys. Jalen Tyson's shooting 46% from three. He's played a lot. He's had to start a lot. Um, he looks comfortable attacking off the catch. He's good shooting off the catch, and the defense is fine. It's not like super awesome for like a wing player, but I've thought that his minutes look pretty good. How do we feel about this roster, Bill? Because we ask that all the time. I think with them, they're like always a hurt team, so we kind of factor that in too when we talk about Cleveland. But we also always have to talk about their roster build with the hourglass team, where they have the two guards and the two bigs. Like, have we soured on this? Do we feel as good about it as we ever have? What do we think?
I think a big thing that is helping them with the kind of team building is the thing that you just mentioned, those 2 guys, Sam Merrill and Jordan Tyson. Not only are they lining up from the three-point line, but Tyson especially has been playing really good defense and, like, just gives a lot of effort, which you love to see. Um, I mean, I think Allen is really, like, he just doesn't give you that much offensively. It might I mean, honestly, like, if you could trade Jared Allen, that would help your team a lot. Like, I guess, team build wise, then maybe you could swing Evan Mobley to that 5 and have him be like a true stretch 5, and that gives you so much more offensively. And also, Evan Mobley is like very capable of not only protecting the rim, but also switching on to other guys, even bigger bigs. So, like, that could maybe be a possible answer to some of the team building problems. But I mean, like I said, I don't think anyone at the top of the conference wants to be facing like a 7 or 8 seed uh, Cavaliers team, especially while fully healthy. Pat, I know I'd be shivering in my boots if I had to walk in there.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I would feel about reshaping this roster. I think the concern with me with moving Allen is they don't have big wings on their team that like I think are power forward sized wings to move Mobley to center. So it's like you need to get a center who you're comfortable bringing off the bench as well is what it feels like kind of to me. And you need it's just it's a very weird puzzle with this Cavaliers team. I know for sure if Garland is shooting as poorly as he is, they need to consider moving off of him because I don't think you can afford having a two guard, like real point guard sized player lineup with one of them shooting, 37% from the field. But we don't think Garland's that level of a player, so we'll have to see like some type of a bounce back in the coming, little
We
bit
know
from.
we know what Garland can do. We know he's able to get to the rim and finish very craftily and make insane layups and make easy ones as well. He's good footwork down there. Um, I mean, I think let's see, he played 7 games, so well, we were shitting on a lot of players at the start of the season. They've bounced back, so let's
Yeah.
not jump too much. But I mean, I think that Garland's availability is a real issue, and like you said, if he keeps shooting this poorly, which I don't think he will, it will definitely end up hurting them in the long run. And maybe you do have to look for different options.
Yeah, he's just been off to such a rough start, like you said. His career average from, shooting at the rim. I mean, if you just remove his rookie season and his sophomore season when he was just horrible, he's been like a 30 or not a 30, a 64% finisher at the rim, and this year it's all the way down to 56. So
Wow.
it's just like, yeah, it's been career lows from Garland shooting the ball, and I just doubt that stands even from like mid range, he's shooting 25% from medium mid range length. Just I doubt that stands as well. And I would expect some type of a bounce back from Garland. I he It was a foot injury, so maybe that is something that does affect his long-term explosiveness around the rim, but I don't think that will completely decimate his overall shot making ability because he's just been a great shot maker throughout his NBA career. So other than that, I mean, I still feel very confident that Cleveland is one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. I mean, if you just look at those standings, they're only 2 games out of uh, the 2 seed. So, like, I'm not panicking on Cleveland just yet. I would say as they get healthy, they figure out the right combinations of lineups. I think they'll be good. I think they have 7 good players, and I think that's what they need. Uh, Other East teams, I think. Go ahead. I know you're muted.
Didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. Um, we've had a couple of the preseason darlings take a little bit of a step back, not the preseason, but early season darlings, with Philly and Chicago currently sitting at the 9 and 10 seeds, hovering around 500. Um, is there anything really significant that you think from their recent fall back to earth? You're muted again.
They started playing harder competition a little bit. Everyone started to get into a groove. So I mean, shit, the Wizards were 8-2 at the top of the East. like the first 10 games of the season, and then we ended up being a lottery pick. So I mean, you can never really. I think a lot of it is just teams adjusting to how you play, teams actually figuring you out, and then knowing how to attack you, as we see with them really struggling over the past 10 games.
Yeah, and then Milwaukee, they've been terrible in the week that Giannis has been out, and I think that pretty much ends our Milwaukee conversation. I have one more team in the East that I think is worth talking about for now, and that's the Boston Celtics because they have been better than expectations set by us would have, expected from them. And I think even if you just look at the raw numbers, their offense is still really good. Even without just Jason Tatum, they haven't missed a beat. The defense has been middle of the pack, and typically the Boston teams have been good defensively over the past 3 seasons. And I think if you look at the lineup data, a lot of that will tell you, well, their backup center is Luka Garza, and when Luka Garza is in the game, their defense is horrendous. I think there's a lot to pick at with Boston, and they could be an interesting trade deadline team, in my opinion. I want to know, what are we out on Boston, or are we in on Boston for the rest of the year, or are we going to hold off?
Ooh. Let's hold off. This team's on a really hot streak, 7-3 in their last 10 games. They've been doing it because of Pritchard and Jaylen Brown. Really, Pritchard's averaging 17, shooting 34%. Jaylen Brown has stepped up, averaging 28, 4, and 6, shooting 49% from the field, 34% from three. Derek White's been playing good. You mentioned the defense has taken a step back, but outside of Quito, like you said, Luka Garza is their backup big. Um, Let me see how tall he is because I feel like he's kind of undersized. Yeah,
I don't really think he's under.
6'10".
He's
So like,
6'10". Yeah, it's
yeah,
like
I don't know.
average center.
It's a struggle. I think that Anthony Simons could be moved at the deadline. I don't
Yeah,
think. I think defensive liability for sure, but he's shooting the ball really well. He's only averaging 13 a game. He is shooting 40% from the three. Teams would love that coming off their bench. And the Celtics could end up getting someone from him, maybe a big or, yeah, probably a big, honestly.
off the top of your head, what do you think Nemeas Keita's defensive on-off is? So, like, not the offense.
+5, +3,
Keep trying. Keep trying.
-3,
No.
-10.
No.
Am
Are
I
you
getting
saying minus as a good thing or a bad thing?
a bad thing?
Okay, no.
So is it a good thing?
It
You got to
is
give me
good.
like a hot and cold, bro.
Okay. You are very, very cold.
Okay, so +10.
Warmer.
7?
Okay, he's a plus 17 and a half on
Damn.
defense alone. Now, he's a slight negative on offense, but I mean, he's been awesome defensively. Now, a lot of that is when Luka Garza's on the floor. They are just like the worst defensive team ever. When Luka Garza's on the floor, their defensive rating so far this season has been a 122.8. When Neemias Queta's on the floor, it has been a 102. Um, so huge difference there. They've pretty much been splitting backup time. I think they just like literally they just need a backup center, and I think they actually are a pretty good team. Um, and you mentioned Simons. I think Simons would be the easy way to try and get a backup center on the roster. And yeah, we'll see. We'll talk about trades, I'm sure. We'll quickly go to the West. We could always wax poetic about the Thunder and how about they're about to win 75 games this season. Um, do we have anything new on the Thunder, or are we just gonna lock them in for 75?
J-Dub's back. That's the only new stuff I have.
I agree. They're winning 75. Spurs, they've stayed alive without Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox and Dylan Harper in the past couple games. So, have you tuned into any Spurs recently?
I I don't think so since Wemby went out. Maybe, yeah. I think I've only followed on the apps.
Yeah, I don't think I've not been tuning into as much Spurs. Apparently, Fox has recently gotten back. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Fox has gotten back. So, um, he's been off to a good start to his Spurs career. I would call it a start because he didn't play last year, really any. But yeah, I'm interested in seeing how they mesh when everybody's there. Um, Glad that they stay afloat. I think that's really big in them like not shutting down Wemby later in the season, and that's about it. Minnesota, I think there's some interesting things going on in Minnesota. We already went over the Nemias Queta stuff, right? Rudy Gobert is having a like similar defensive season. It's in probably the lowest minutes per game of Gobert's, not even. No, it's not. It's actually in line with his Utah minutes per game numbers, and he's having the best defensive on off of his career. Have have you realized this? Because I
Yeah, yeah. 1.6 points per game. Teams are really struggling to even get up shots around. Or did I say points per game or
yeah,
blocks? I meant blocks. 1.6 blocks per game. Or, jeez. Yeah, 1.6 blocks per game. Teams are even having trouble even putting the ball up on him. He's doing such a good job of altering shots, helping in the paint so well. And he's turned this Timberwolves team into what we've expected, finally. Sitting at six in that tough West, uh, only like 3, 4 games out of the top five. I think that you're in a good spot if you're Minnesota.
yeah. I just I in my brain like Rudy Gobert got 10% worse again, like he did the year before, but he's actually just back to being probably the favorite for defensive player of the year suddenly, which is ridiculous because I mean, he's just been so awesome. Teams don't shoot around the rim around him, and it's not like your typical like on-off swings where like, oh, they have terrible center play behind him. No, they have bigs who play behind Rudy Gobert. They have lineups that are big that play behind Rudy Gobert, and they're not like they don't play that many defensive liabilities in general, right? They do have their Rob Dillingham minutes. Like, we're not going to pretend like Rob Dillingham doesn't play for them, but it's very sparingly and often with Gobert because they need the extra ball handler out there. He's just been awesome. I feel like shouting him out. I don't think there's substantively that much different about Minnesota year to year. Anthony Edwards is looking like he's taking a step forward. I'm sure that could be a point of topic for your next MVP ladder, but that's in 2 weeks' time before we do that. So yeah, any other West teams that we have some things to speak about?
I'll quickly go over it. I think the Rockets getting KD was just huge for them. They're looking like a legitimate team because not only are they so good defensively, I think they're even better offensively, stat wise, Pat. So KD coming in there, he's making clutch shots. He just killed. They just killed Utah by like 30, 40 points. Rockets look good because like coming down like if you're in a close game with the Rockets, like 3 minutes to go in clutch time, it's hard to beat them because you have like the cutthroat scorer of KD, who can just put daggers into fans' hearts, and then you also have the great defense from Amen. Sengun has been playing out of his mind. Um, Tari Eason, all those guys, DFS, they've been playing really good.
Yeah, I mean, not even to throw cold water on you because I do agree with you. I think bringing in Kevin Durant makes them legitimately like not a favorite, but one of the real contenders in the NBA. I think they are one of the real contenders. Kevin Durant, since we've been doing it this year, because I made the bold prediction, does currently have the -3 on off. It's really early in the season; those things can shift and change a ton. Um, but he's super awesome, and I've thought recently about Kevin Durant watching the Rockets live. They were playing in one of the play-in, not the play-in, but the NBA Cup games. I don't know how we haven't talked about the NBA Cup yet. Um, but Kevin Durant is like a starting pitcher who is going to go out there and give you 6 innings every game, and he's going to hold the team that you're facing to 3 or less runs. Kevin Durant goes out there and gives you a quality start every game. Um, and it's super valuable, and I think they really needed it. Instead of having empty scoring last year, they now have, like, very good volume scoring filling in the gaps here, and I think it's been really impactful for them. They have a top 3 offense, and, like, I think their defense is still towards the top in the league, if not still a top 5 offense or a top 10. So, yeah, they're 2nd and 4th. So, they're looking really real, and I agree with you. On the inverse, do we have any Suns comments?
Yeah, Pat, the Suns have been playing really good basketball. And I don't. Let me check because I don't even think Jalen Green has been around for a lot of it, or maybe a couple games. I think Dylan Brooks has been absolutely huge for this team. I think that addition went under the radar. Like the culture that he can bring over and the defense that he's able to play, and he hits some crazy shots too. He's been having a really good year. Uh, this is a team that they're kind of on the fringe of that. The defense is struggling a little bit. The offense has been great. I don't even think the defense has been that bad of a issue. Yeah, Dylan Brooks is averaging 21. Grayson Allen, when he's been healthy, has been amazing. Uh, and Colin Gillespie, I think, has been a really good addition for that Suns team. Let me see. He's been shooting the ball lights out. He had a dagger play. I think he hit like a clutch shot. I forget what team he was playing. Yeah, shooting 42% from the 3-point line. He's been a huge help for this team. Dylan Brooks coming on and doing what he's been able to do has been huge. Oh, the Kings. He hit a buzzer beater against the Kings. So.
Yeah,
Oh
and
wait, no, he
this
didn't. He did a buzzer beater. But yeah, go carry on.
this team is, like, the not the test subject, but it's, like, players that we like, and we talked about it. Even now that they don't have our guy Jared Butler, they still have Jordan Goodwin and Colin Gillespie, who we thought are, like, very good players who just haven't had a ton of chances to play regularly in an NBA rotation. And they've gotten 6 quarters out of Jalen Green so far this year, who was apparently supposed to be the headliner of the Kevin Durant trade. Of course, Dylan Brooks is doing a great Jalen Green impression while still being, like, pretty decent defensively, like Dylan Brooks is always going to be in his NBA career. And they're getting volume scoring out of Grayson Allen, who we didn't think there was that much more to pick at with his volume scoring. Devin Booker has been very good. 3-point shooting's even down for Devin Booker, and he's still been pretty good. I've really, like, it's been fun to see. I think they could actually be a good team if they had a real, like, primary point guard. I guess I think Devin Booker is really overtasked playing point guard. It's just not something that I think he's really good at. But I think, do we think this team is anything more than a pesky playing team? Because they feel to me like the greatest pesky playing team of all time.
I agree, Pat. I don't know if they have like all the offensive firepower to go out and claim like a non-play-in spot, but like they're gonna be fun to watch in the play-in, and maybe they win a couple games in the first round. You know, especially with Booker's leadership, they'll have Jalen Green back, and hopefully he doesn't play like he did last year.
The number 1 defense in the league is the OKC Thunder. The number 2 defense in the league is the Miami Heat. Do you want to take a guess on who the number 3 defense in the
The
league is?
Suns,
No.
uh,
Baby do.
Nuggets. Oh wait, no, not Nuggets, not Nuggets, not Nuggets. I don't know. I have no clue.
The
Maybe.
Dallas Mavericks.
Oh, really?
Yes. They've been great defensively so far this year. Their offense is the worst in the NBA. Just felt like throwing that out there. Nico Harrison, he was cooking, man. He built one of the great defenses in the league. He just completely ignored the point guard position. Um, he was like,
Yeah,
guys, if we
D'Lo
don't
and Luka are a huge drop off.
he was like, guys, if we completely just, point guards make your defense worse. So if we just don't play point guards, we'll have one of the best defenses. Like, he's cooking. He's cooking. Um, yeah. Do you have any other West teams, or do we want to go to this next slide? All
We
right.
can move on.
What do you think this slide is about?
Injuries, or maybe teams leaving next. Teams that are or players to get traded.
Yeah. I do see how this could easily be taken to injuries, though,
I think
specifically on the left side.
Laurie is literally like the only one that's not like injury prone on this list.
Yeah. I guess him and Sabonis, but Sabonis is currently hurt.
Sabonis has been hurt all season,
Yeah.
damn near.
Yeah, the four guys on the left are like the hallmark of injury proneness. Yeah, so these are guys who have frequently popped up in trade rumors throughout the start of the season. I think I saw the greatest trade rumors, not form, but rumor thrown out there, and it was that the Milwaukee Bucks are going to keep tabs on Zach LaVine going forward. And that's awesome. Dame did not die for this. Um, yeah. What do we think about any of these?
I think the AD one's going to be the toughest because he has only played 6 games this year and he struggles so much to stay on the court. Lamelo's interesting. Like, can he actually thrive in a winning culture, not in Charlotte AAU basketball? I mean, honestly, I think Markkanen and Sabonis would be my main targets. I think Sabonis, when healthy, is just an elite center. He plays really well there, and he's able to get boards too. Larry Markkanen, probably the second guy. He's been having a great year. He can shoot the ball, drive in, hit post mid, fiddy, post fade middies. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Zion would be nice, but I think it's a little past that. John Morant, I just don't really see how he gets traded. I know that he like the Grizzlies. Like I can see it, but I don't know who's going to take a chance on Ja, given all his recent troubles and really struggles too.
Yeah, I think all of these were like the best players that I've seen. The report came out the other day that the Jazz are more likely to add around Larry Markkinen than to blow up the team, which I think is awesome because they're going to go all in on a Domantas Sabonis, Larry Markkinen core, and the OKC Thunder ran Western Conference. Like, if there's ever a time to just embrace the tank, it's when the best team of all time is in the league. Um, yeah, I don't have too much more. Kings are apparently completely open for business, and I don't know if they're gonna be able to trade anyone, and I think that's hilarious. Um, they've created a masterpiece so bad that even when they try to strip it down, they're not going to be able to. Um, that's awesome. And then Anthony Davis has the injury concerns. He showed up this year overweight. He's making a ton of money, and the defense has been steadily ticking down as his careers move forward. So I'm not sure if any of these guys are going to get traded. And that was kind of the main point of putting them all on here because they are all popping up in trade rumors, but I don't know if any of these guys are going to get dealt. Last year we had Durant, we had De'Aaron Fox, we had Jimmy Butler, and all of them did make sense for them to be dealt. I think the one that I was most skeptical about was Jimmy Butler. I was kind of skeptical because of the Heat handling of him internally. It was just really strange, and I didn't know how that would affect his market. But I really like. Is this the trade market of doom? I could have included Trae Young on here as well. Like this is the trade deadline of doom and despair.
Yeah, I definitely agree, Pat. I mean, like I said, there's only a couple guys who I would even consider, and I don't even know if those. I don't know if Utah's willing to trade Markkanen, and then does anyone wants a bonus? We'll have to see. I think he's probably the most likely to go, or maybe Levine. I think the Kings players have more of a chance than any of these superstars.
Yeah, I think the most likely player to get traded at this deadline is Keon Ellis. And he's not starting for the Kings right now, but he's gonna be great for whichever team he goes to. Um, one final report because I saw today that the Chicago Bulls, and I posted a reel and TikTok about it. The Chicago Bulls view Josh Giddey
I
as
saw
their
that.
Tyrese Halliburton, and they are now looking to add their own Pascal Siakam to the mix to complete the Indiana Pacers formula. Is this not the most Chicago Bulls report of all time?
Yeah, Pat, I actually watched the reel and I agree 100%. Like you're sitting at 9 and 10 and you think that this team that you have built around you is the winning formula. Uh, and is Josh Giddey really that comparable to Halliburton? I don't know. Um, I mean, this is a team that's been stuck in mediocrity, and I think the reason behind this is some of the reports that we're hearing, just like the one you just mentioned.
The most hilarious part about it is the Bulls are currently 20th in offense in the league, and when the Pacers made their move for Siakam, they were a top 5 offense in the NBA. They're doing great. They're doing great. Yeah, that's basically all I had set up for today. I'm pretty sure that's all that I had. Oh, I did have the awards tab. Any awards that we already feel like you obviously don't have to make a prediction for every single one of them, but are there any that have stood out to you so far as candidates for any of these awards? Coach, six man comeback, clutch, most improved. We don't have to do MVP. You could do rookie as well, even though we do ladders for those two things. But
For MIP, I guess I would go with one of the Rocket boys, either Amen or Sengun. I think Sengun is like, even though he was already such a good center last year, the leap that he's taken to become like a dominant offensive scorer, and also he's been taking some tough defensive assignments as well, and he's been like living above expectations on both ends. So I think I might go that for MIP.
my question is, how is it not Austin Reeves?
Oh, that is true. He was my guy last year. Yeah, if
Yeah,
Austin, yeah, honestly, it's gonna be an interesting race, I think.
not wrong just early on Austin Reeves, I would say. Because, I mean, have you seen the posts that get aggregated of him, and it'll be him next to like Devin Booker, it'll be him next to Jalen Brown, it'll be him next to just like all of these all NBA of previously receiving guys, and it'll just be Austin Reeves is better than them in points, rebounds, assists, field goal percentage, uh, even more thing. It's just insane how great Austin Reeves has been this year. And obviously, I'm always going to tell you that counting stats are lies, but I mean, Austin Reeves has been so good, and like the eye test has backed it up. I agree that he could be a guy. I think the Houston boys are great for MVP or for MIP, and Jalen Duren was like legitimately a backup level center last season, and now he's awesome suddenly. So, um, other than that, six man of the year, I'll just throw out a shout out because he's not going to be award eligible, but I'm gonna quickly go now that I have this awesome, page that can pull up the on-offs for everybody on the team. I'm gonna make sure what I'm saying is correct. Um, but this is for the Six Man of the Year award, and I don't think a player like this would ever actually win Sixth Man of the Year because it's literally who score more points is how the award works. Um, but as it currently stands, this season, Mitchell Robinson has been a plus 11 on the offensive side of the floor, primarily based on his offensive rebounding. When Mitchell Robinson is on the floor, the Knicks are rebounding a 44% of their misses, which is like best in the league if that was like compiled across the entire league. When Mitchell Robinson's off the floor, they're like one of the worst offensive rebounding teams in the league. And when he's on the floor, they're one of the best, and his on-off on offense would lead the entire Knicks team. Um, he's been good defensively, not as good as you would want him to be, but shout out to Mitchell Robinson. I would vote him for Sixth Man of the Year if the season ended right now and he was eligible. And a lot of people would vote for Jordan Clarkson, who's been good. He gets some flowers for how he's played. Comeback Player of the Year. I'm sure we could come up with a good answer for Comeback Player of the Year.
Huh. Um, I'm blanking, right now, Pat. I'm blanking. 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 I'm blanking
For some reason, I am too. I mean, Brandon Ingram's a good answer. Like barely played last season. Toronto's been really good so far this season. I was gonna talk about the Warriors for a second earlier in the West, but I skimmed over them. We'll leave it to next time, since I am the general manager of the Golden State Warriors. But yeah, I kind of like Brandon Ingram as the pick.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Do you got anything else before we wrap this up?
Nah, I'm good.
Any cup predictions?
Cup predictions. Let me see real quick. I mean, yeah, maybe Lakers. I think Lakers are a fun. I guess a long shot. I would take the Knicks. Yeah,
They did just beat Toronto the other night, so that's how they get the upset. They've played him recently. RJ Barrett's not healthy, which maybe is a bad thing for the Knicks. But no Jakob Poeltl does help. Yeah, I think they have a shot. I would really like Orlando. They've been great. We didn't really talk about them that much, but they're a 10-10 team right now. And I thought they've been really good. They've been really hot so far to start the season. Desmond Bane did his required be terrible at shooting for the first month of the season. That's over with. Now he's the best shooter in the league type of deal. Like he does it every year. Let's not be surprised. And I've really liked what I've seen out of Orlando in the past like 2 weeks. And I think that will continue until they get some injury luck on their side. Um, Other than that, though, as long as you're ready to wrap it up, next time they will see us here, we'll probably be doing my league. Um, I briefly explained to you what happened. Did you understand what I was saying?
yeah. I saw we were in the playoff. We advanced to playoffs last night.
Yeah. So I think what ended up happening is when I was doing it, um, it was being screwy and it simmed the entire season before I did the trade deadline. And it was not letting me like take control of another team to do like the trades that we wanted to do um for that season. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift it over into an offline my league save. And then we're going to do the screen sharing, and then you won't technically be in the league, but you will still be the one making the Wizards decisions. Is how we'll do it, and I'm hoping it will make a lot more sense. It will allow us to actually do more of the fun things that we wanted to do. We weren't going to be able to do any of like the salary dump stuff the way we were doing it before, and I should be able to get us basically exactly where we left off before. So you will still have Trae Young on the squad.
And Nas.
Yes, and Nas Reed
All right, sounds
Chris
good.
Middleton, baby. No Chris
Sounds good.
Middleton. All right. Thursday. How's the men's league going, by the way?
We're doing all right. I think we're third in the league of 6. I think we just won. Just won a big game. We have a scrimmage coming up against the best team in the league, Chainkas. I think we're the only all like white team in the league. So it's been pretty comp. One of the guys that we were supposed to face last Sunday, he like defected from Cuba 10 years ago. And like NBC Sports wrote a whole article on his pitching. But luckily we didn't have to face him, so that was nice.
Well, let's go. That's actually does sound comp.
Been locking down center field.
Let's go. Well, now that exams are finishing up, how many do you have? Are you baked
I
on
have one
exams?
paper and then I'm done.
Oh my. Oh my.
Yeah, I lucked out.
You
Lucked
did luck
out.
out. I got 3 exams, but once we get those exams done, we are going to be running 2K. I
Oh, yeah.
what player should I make?
Ooh. The meta this year is either like a big or if you want to play like wing, bro. Because like if you come into the rec or the park or the theater and anything with like a 6'5", you're low key like fucked. Everyone else is like 6'8". Because I made a 5'6" point guard and I had to switch it to like a 6'8" shooting guard.
Okay.
So also like the 7'4s are cheese. The 7'4" Wemby builds are pretty gross,
So
but
I'll probably make a Wemby build so we can run with you on your shooting guard.
that's good news. I need to get a new jumper. I've been just rocking the Ray Allen jumper for the past like since I got the game, and that's the default one they give you. But the only problem is it's too slow. Like the jumper is good, it's just too slow. So I can't like hit threes when people start closing out.
All right, well, we're gonna have
So
to
if
get
you
on
got
our Wemby run.
jump shot suggestions, drop it in the chat for
Yeah,
sure.
please drop the jump shot suggestions because
Six
we
eight
are
guard, first 6'8" guard with like a 93.
2K is great, man.
Much needed. Much needed.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll have to get back on the grind. Maybe I'll have $20 to spare
The
on the VC.
parlay hit pretty big, so I was able to spend a little 25 on the VC.
Let's go. Let's
Shout
go.
out Josh Allen and UNC Asheville.
What a parlay. What a parlay. All right. Well, I'll text you all the
Bet.
time.
All right, bet.
Cool.
I'll catch you.
Yeah. That'll do for this one. Yeah.